I had said that you're one of the most humble person I'd ever met. I will tell you that when Mr. Mandela arrived today, he said that our producer met with him in the room, and he said, "What is the subject of today's show?" And they said, and she said, "Nelson Mandela, you are the subject of today's show." He goes, "Oh, all right." So,
like shown in the short clip, Nelson Mandela was a modest person. Born on July 18th, 1918, he was raised in a small village in South Africa as son of a tribal chief. While going to college, he ran away to Johannesburg to avoid pre-arranged marriage, where he suffered a first-hand experience of how bad apartheid was in South Africa. He decided to become involved in the anti-apartheid movement and joined the ANC, the African National Congress, in 1942 to establish a democratic government. During a protest march in 1956, Nelson Mandela was arrested for non-legal activism and waited 4 years for his trial abroad. After 67 people got killed at a peaceful demonstration, he realized that peaceful resistance is not enough. When coming back to South Africa in 1962, he got arrested and accused for political offences, sabotage and conspiracy to overthrow the government. Mandela stood trial but refused to defend himself because this would legitimate the state's case. He spent 27 years in jail on Robben Island. Instead of being forgotten, Mandela became a symbol for the movement to end apartheid. During the 1980s, several offers to release were made to Mandela on the condition that he renounced violence. He refused. In 1919, the ANC was declared legal and announced that Mandela would be released. 3 years later, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize together with President de Klerk for their effort to dismantle South Africa's apartheid system. In 1994, after more than 300 years, blacks were allowed to vote in South Africa. That was when Mandela was elected to be president. Even after presidency, he moved on to fight for human rights and for AIDS awareness. Even posthumously, he will continue to be an inspiration for civil rights movements and activists.
It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. It is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination.
A transformational leader inspires people to achieve unexpected or unremarkable results. Nelson Mandela can be considered a transformational leader because he ended apartheid with his strong leadership skills. Apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that existed in South Africa between 1948 and 1994. To end apartheid, Mandela established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate human rights and political violations committed by both supporters and opponents of apartheid between 1960 and 1994. He also introduced numerous social and economic programs designed to improve the living standards of South Africa's black population. In 1996, Mandela presided over the enactment of a new South African constitution which established a strong central government based on majority rule and prohibited discrimination against minorities, including whites. Furthermore, Nelson Mandela also exhibits the qualities of charismatic leader by using a calm, positive, and a clear-thinking approach, who always has a smile on his face, has clear communication, and a clear vision of how he wanted to lead the country of Africa.
During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of the African people. I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons will live together in harmony with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to see realized. But, my Lord, if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die.
Mandela personifies servant leader. He moved from personal pain he suffered in the unified country after apartheid system. Nelson Mandela, despite the personal cost, he stayed to his conviction that South Africa should be a democracy with one person, one vote, equal for all South Africans. Nelson Mandela worked with those who had imprisoned him to bring about peaceful transition of power. Nelson Mandela knows how to prioritize and use opportunity time when he brings South Africans together, as he did by embracing the South African Rugby team. Nelson Mandela accepted others regardless of the color of the skin, the religion, and where people come from. He's a very good example of leader, servant leader.
Over 30 years ago, while still a student, I learned of Nelson Mandela and the struggles taking place in this beautiful land. And it stirred something in me. It woke me up to my responsibilities, to others and to myself. And it set me on an improbable journey that finds me here today. And while I will always fall short of Madiba's example, he makes me want to be a better man. He speaks to what's best inside us. After this great liberator is laid to rest, and when we've returned to our cities and villages and rejoined our daily routines, let us search for his strength. Let us search for his largeness of spirit somewhere inside of ourselves. And when the night grows dark, when injustice weighs heavy on our hearts, when our best laid plans seem beyond our reach, let us think of Madiba and the words that brought him comfort within the four walls of his cell. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged the punishment, the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. What a magnificent soul it was. We will miss him deeply. May God bless the memory of Nelson Mandela. May God bless the people of South Africa.
When a man has done what he conceives to be his duty to his people and his country, he can rest in peace. I believe I have made that effort. And that is therefore why I will sleep for the eternity